Yeah,
We
but
live.
you.
We live.
Okay.
Um, so, ha ha! Look at that smile. Peanut, I'm so glad to have you here with me. I don't care about the bad connection or nothing. I don't care what nobody's saying. I got you. Look, I put all my lights on it. Um, so I'm so thirsty for my peanut. If every so number one, for all the people that keep saying, um, I don't want to leave America because I don't want to leave my family. Look what I had to leave in America. Okay. Like the outer edges of my heart is dried up and shriveled. You know what I'm saying? But the middle is beaten with the blood of Africa. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying
Thank
to
you.
Oh, thank you, Mama Dara. Um, I'm just trying to, get the outer edges to connect with her and pull her over here. Just pull, just pull. So, this is our first time. By the grace, it won't be our last time being live with you guys. Um, but you know, uh I don't want to come off harsh to all my friends and family and associates who have been planning on repatriating when they talk about, wow, I have my family over here. And I just like, I have family too. I want them to know that. Here she is right here, live in color, in a lot of colors and direct. You feel me? So Peanut, let me introduce my daughter Noelani. I wrote like a whole thing about her on my Facebook page some time ago when she was getting ready to do uh not a study abroad but a domestic study abroad. Like she did some kind of collaboration between Tuskegee and what's the name of that school in California?
Redlands University.
Yeah, Redlands. Yeah. So basically, she a low key farmer. You know what I'm saying? Low key hippie. All those years of making all those hippie jokes, it have, you know what I'm saying, backfired on her. Now she like hippie number one. You know what I'm saying? So that is hilarious, and I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. Did you see that Kevin Hart episode where he went to Japan and and is so excited people kept chasing him around? So excited, so excited. So Peanut, come on, talk to my people, give them a greeting or what's up.
Greetings. Hello. Um, I'm Noe, and I'm here in Chicago right now. That's where I'm posted up. But I've also been around a couple places, so that's nice. I'm only here because of COVID, because it's convenient, I guess. But where I need to be is Ghana.
Yes, we own it. We own it. I'm getting ready to prepare some land for my baby over here. Per her request, so she could grow her stuff, whatever that stuff may be, and and have a space that we're here, but sometimes you want to dip out. It's just a excellent income opportunity for her and anybody. Don't say I didn't tell you. Coming over here to have a guest home or guest house or hotel, just depending on how you build it. So yeah, Peanut, you look good. You look good. You look, you all in the middle, symmetrical and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this has been a long run, and we never intended on being separated for this long, but COVID happened, and it threw a monkey wrench in all our plans to be together and do whatever we needed to do, moving back and forth between the US and Ghana. So, clearly, that was out of our hands. So this is not even a typical repatriation story. This is like repatriation in the middle of COVID-19. You know what I'm saying? And the boys they got a story to tell too about, their experience as having to live through this pandemic over here in Ghana and what all that entails. So I just wanted to, sometimes you think people just be coming on, talking and showing out. I mean everything I say and I stand on everything that I mean, and this is the living proof of that, So I'm just super excited to have Noe on with me. I don't know what else we want to say. We want to talk about a lot of stuff. We want to talk about healing, how it feels when you come over to Ghana. Why do people say that they have these, just deep emotional experiences when they come um, to Africa? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we want to talk about that, Peanut. What about you?
Yeah, I want to talk about that too. um, I don't know. I feel like this process has been interesting for me because, like you said, like I'm still over here and I haven't seen you for a very long time. And for most people, that would be like the worst thing in the world to be away from their mom, especially if they're still alive. So, um, it's been interesting because I feel like it's just forced me to grow into who I need to be for myself because, like, life is an individual journey. Oh, yeah. Mom Dar said, are we taking questions? And
Please. We always taking questions from you, Mom Dara.
yeah. um, so everything has just been pretty, I guess,
Challenge. Challenge.
enlightening.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's still been
Enlightenment.
enlightening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's just, I just feel like I see how important this process was for you and how important it could be for so many people, for me even still being here and having went to Ghana before and experienced the feelings I felt once I was on the land, and then coming back here and still being wrapped up into the whole system of things and like just balancing the two. Um, so yeah. Mm,
Yeah.
what
Well,
I'm doing.
I remember one time watching some kind of like movie where the character fell into this big vat of like garbage and toxin poisons and stuff. It was
Mm-hmm.
like some kind of Joker scene or whatever. And Kwaku turned around and looked at me, and we had just came back from Ghana. He looked at me. He said, "That's kind of like coming back to the United States, falling in a big vat of toxic, mess." And I just looked at him like, "Man, I got to get these kids out of here." You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's how you really feel, I got to make this pathway. So at first you weren't really feeling it, you know what I'm saying? But what's been your, like, what do you feel about it now? You know what I'm saying? That we're all going, because even though you're still there, what, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, just talk a little bit about your process of going from what the hell to this is absolutely necessary and I'm coming to. Like, what's your process with that? What's
Um,
up?
Hello. Okay, also, should I answer Mama Dar's question first or yours?
Yes, yes. Hers
Okay.
first.
Okay. My impressions. What are my impressions of Ghana? How was it for me, and how did I feel? Okay. My impressions were just kind of like it was like sensory overload, I guess, in a way I've never experienced before, because I'm used to like digital stimulation or like just like I don't know. I feel like I kind of speak on America a lot in terms of stimulation. It's just that we're really hyper focused on consumerism and very disconnected from like nature and like just the process of just sitting with yourself. You know, we're always running from ourselves. So when I got there, it just was a whirlwind of reflection and a bunch of peace, in my opinion. I like really appreciate, even you can see in my decision to go to an HBCU, I really appreciate being surrounded by people who reflect me, um, where I can see myself in them in some capacity. I think that was one of my biggest things I appreciated. On top of just like the air, like the experience, it's really just the experience of being in nature, just being connected to the land in a certain type of way that I feel like isn't afforded here in my experience in America. I don't think it's limited to Ghana though. Like I think it's wherever you can create that space for yourself. But it just so happened to be Ghana for me. Um, the first time I went was seventh grade, and then the second time I went was my senior year of high school. Um, the first time I went, I think I stayed. Both times I stayed for 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think the first time we stayed almost a month, and then the second time it was like maybe 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah. Um, so now, originally, the reason why I didn't go with my mom is because I think growing up in America, it gave me a certain type of, one, I would say, ego and entitlement to experiences I've seen other people may have, or things I thought I was supposed to look forward to, not things I really now can understand weren't true to me. Because I was looking at like, well, everyone else is doing this and doing this, and I don't want to be left out. I don't want to miss that train. But um, in my time here alone, I've really been able to sit with myself and just think about what I really, 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 really want from life, and like what really matters to me outside of um, emulating things I've seen. And part of that process was like, well, my mom knows, it's just like tripping shrooms a bunch. I feel like the intention of, once I chose healing for myself and chose to heal myself from what my mom calls is the toxic overload of living here and being born here and being conditioned here. Once I've changed my thought process to heal from that and I chose healing, that's when it the picture started to get more clear for me that, you know, what I truly want now is to be able to be in Ghana, or in a space like that, but in Ghana because my mom's there.
That is absolutely fabulous. So, like, basically, you had to go into some type of like deep psychological exploration of yourself, not just in relationship to the world as we have come to see it, but yourself in relationship to the entire universe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it took all of that to kind of open your mind to see the different possibilities of life. Even though you've been traveling, going all around, whatever, it took to actual, you know, use this natural substance, which is a psilocybin, to like go on this deep exploration, which I think initially I would be like, oh my God, oh my God. But I'm not there, and I had to do some studying, myself. And then I realized that by any means, we all need to go on some kind of trip. We need to leave the festering, chains of Babylon, at least for one night, okay? And 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 try to see the possibilities of ourselves, because we are here for a reason. We
Mhm.
laugh, we joke about it, but we're here for a reason. And I don't take that for granted. I'm here, you know what I'm saying, for a reason. And I've always felt that way. But um Mama Dara said, what does healing look like? And Mama Malinke said that, what year and how old were you when you visited? How Okay, we answered that. How long did you stay? Um so okay, one thing you didn't really talk about it. Well, you did. What was your impression in Ghana and how did you feel? You talked about that some. But she also asked, well, what does healing look like? So
Well,
we started that.
for me, healing specifically has been sitting with my shadows, sitting with the parts of myself that I feel are undesirable, and then questioning what has ever made me feel that about myself. And in doing so, it's basically like looking in the mirror and be like, I'm deserving, and anything that's telling me anything outside of that is kind of obstructing me, and I need to essentially heal from that, and kind of, I don't think it's something that you can always uproot. It's not always about uprooting these things. It's about recognizing them and giving them the space to exist. And sometimes just seeing it for what it is and meeting reality on reality's terms. That's my biggest thing. In my healing process, that has been the biggest thing for me, meeting reality on reality's terms, because I feel like so many people are um, ingrained into escapism and are really fighting themselves, you know what I mean? And which is understandable, because when you have been told to hate everything that you are, there really, it creates a certain type of war within yourself. And in my exploration, I've kind of understood certain things for myself, certain things I have to face, and just recognizing that, like, we are kind of dealing with a lot of spiritual warfare, and a part of that is because we're so disconnected from spirit. So in order to heal ourselves, spirit has to flow through us. And for me, like I said before, living in Ghana, it really, not living, but visiting Ghana and having an experience like that, really just opened my eyes to that, what would allow spirit to run through me. So, I don't really believe that there's like a perfect rule book to anything. I think it's really about getting into what works for yourself.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I'm still, I guess, like deep into a healing journey, and I will continue on that until I exit from this realm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and part of that, you know, is like you can't go backwards. If I had never came to Africa and all I ever knew was the United States, and I never had or felt any connection here, then I would have had to deal where I was at. You know what I'm saying? And I suppose, uh, right on, let
Thank
us know.
you, Mama Dara.
Oh, speaking of writing, let's get on that, Noe. While before I get on my little, spill, whatever, let's talk about that. Because we are actually working on publishing some of our journal notes in terms of the repatriation process and some of the stuff that we've gone through. With that, me on this side and Noe on that side. and how that's been for our family. I even got the boys writing too. So, we just want to give the perspectives, and we you know what? I would just imagine if excuses was a sugar cane and I have the machete. I'm cutting them boys down. I have family too. My heart is in the United States. You see it live and in color right now. But still, I am trying to establish a foundation for our family and for us over on this land to reestablish that. I'm part of that. That's just my calling. That's the work that's been laid out before me. So with that, we are writing. I'm waiting on Noe to come with her piece because I got my stuff together. You feel me? But she sent me some pictures and like a short piece. So I'm waiting on her to fill that out. And what I want to do is offer it to people who are thinking about repatriation because I wrote a book called Beckon. It's an ebook. It's short and it's like the first steps to repatriation. So we want to offer our personal notes along with that book at no charge. Maybe when we compile a lot, we'll attach a price to it. But for right now, we want to share that with people. Um, we want to share that because I want to cut that excuse down. I want to cut it, peel it, boil it. You feel me? And swallow it and digest it and make it into something completely different because we just don't need it anymore. Our family is here and our family is there. We left our family here a long time ago and we didn't do it on purpose and we didn't like it. I'm here to tell you, I bear witness. You know, we were ripped away from here and we still have family over here. You know, if you think you looking for something, they looking for something too. They looking for you. So it's two sides of that coin and we have to deal. My dad is over there. I'm gonna send y'all the link. Can I send the link right here? Okay, I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna try to figure that out.
Wait,
But
someone
the
asks, how has the repatriation process changed our relationship? Um,
Well,
in
I'm
the in
outrageous. I'm irate. You know what I'm saying? I said the outer part of my heart is just it's like, you know what I mean? On one hand, I think it's strength to have us on both sides, but we wasn't intending to get stuck by no pandemic. I was planning on seeing my baby face like this year. You know what I'm saying? I never intended on not actually, you know what I'm saying? You know, if somebody had told me that this pandemic is coming and you're gonna be separated from your dad and your daughter for an extra year, I probably would have fell out. And I don't know if I would have been able to cut that sugar cane down. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I can't call it, but I just can't see myself making that decision because I miss my daughter and I really feel like she need me, live and in color, and I need her live and in color too. At least for some time, if she came over here 3 months or 6 months and she could go anywhere after that, I wouldn't even care. But as long as I could touch base with her, you know what I'm saying, and get that together, that part together, man, I would love it. But we've been caught up. So now we on the tail end of that, hopefully. So hopefully I can see my peanut sometime soon.
Yeah, for me, it's also been very hard because I feel like like I was under my mom's wing. I just was able to do that for so long. So when I feel like it definitely strengthened our relationship as far as me maturing because I think for everyone needs to be alone. You know what I mean? For a certain amount of time, you need that space to just grow into yourself and see things outside of the perspective you continue to tell yourself. One thing I said, like a little quote, I think I put in the book my mom's releasing soon, the other book she's releasing. I said that like the space basically. Dang, what was the quote? I don't think I have it like off the top of my head, but I can give it a roundabout. Basically, it was saying how this space allowed me to stop projecting a lot of my inadequacies onto my mom. So like, you know, I feel like you always get to the point where you're like, okay, my mom, your parent is a regular human too, and then you have all these preconceived expectations that you think that they're supposed to uphold or do things for you because you
Peanut,
didn't
don't make me cry.
actually
Don't make me cry.
you think all these things because you're not fully taking responsibility for yourself yet. And I was just in that place. So I think the time definitely, I miss my mom, but I think it was imperative in order for me to stand here and be the person I am right now, you know. And I was never mad at her. I never felt any type of way. I always knew this was the way, because the way I was raised. So I always knew like creating that relationship, I didn't know how it was going to be created when I was younger, but I knew that was like in my mom's, you know, path and on her journey. So I never took it personal as if she didn't love me or she didn't want to be with me. It was always like, this is necessary for growth, and growth happens in discomfort. You know what I mean? You can't just be sitting up comfortable all the time expecting to break through. So yeah, it's uncomfortable, but it was a necessary change. It was a necessary change.
Yeah, I listen to you and I'm like, okay, well, I'm extremely proud since day one, Noe been like that, daughter, day one, you know what I'm saying? And she haven't changed on that. But I think about my mom, you know, and that's all I can say about that, you know.
Mm.
Uh, like, and it's interesting because I have started in the last 10 years or so going to funerals and different things, people coming and transitioning. It's like sometimes I go to people's funeral and for the first time I see, wow, this was such an amazing person, you know? And as per my fear, when my mother passed away, I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that. I know my mom. I love my mom, and I try my best to appreciate my mom. But I don't think you can ever appreciate your mom enough. And you have a chance. So you have like a mini chance. It's not the same. I'm still living, okay? Thank God, okay? But I'm still away. You know what I mean? So you got a glimpse of what that looks like to be a little bit with your mom, kind of out of reach. In my case, to this day, sometimes I'm about to pick up the phone and call my mom. How? You know what I'm saying? But, I don't know if you remember because it was just such a crazy time, but at my mom's funeral, one of her friends came and did a poem called My African Queen and dedicated to my mom. And a lot of people don't know this, but on that day, we were clearing the land here for our house in Ghana. On that day, wow, my mother, who never was like a super political, person, although she was in her own way, I just felt like that is, I'm doing my part. I'm carrying on what my mother left for me. If she's the African queen, then certainly I can't be stuck in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? And certainly, you have to feel that the world is at your doorstep as well as an African, as the granddaughter of an African queen. You know what I'm saying? So I felt vindicated, in my process of doing this, even though my dad is there. My dad is my man. You know what I'm saying? My total comic relief. You know what I'm saying? I talked to my dad recently. He was like, I wish a would sneeze on me. I like to say that. You know what I'm saying? So I miss my dad. So I'm going through all of this. So I am not partial, and I'm not the people's excuses. I'm not hearing them. You know what I'm saying? But they path may just not be my path. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta make excuses for that. It is what it is. But if people read your mother as an African queen, then surely you have to feel at home in Africa. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing my job. That's how I feel. And the suffering that goes along with it is also partnered by, a lot of love and a lot of growth. And, I wish I could get the boys to come on, because Kwaku, he talk a lot of stuff, but this boy come up with a new business plan every day. You know what I'm saying? Damn, yeah. I'm like, this boy, for somebody who don't want to be over here, boy, you sure got a lot of ideas about, how to make this work. You know what I mean? So, and yeah. Um, um, Chan said that Noe, that was so deep. Growth happens in discomfort. I swear to God, this is the absolute truth.
I think I have to. A part of the reason why I am who I am, obviously, is because I'm a reflection of you. And I think the biggest thing I've learned from you is just, and I've noted, it's just, your independence and your will to figure it out for yourself, and not make excuses for where you want to go in life. You know what I mean? Even if it's different, you was never afraid to dream or see things in a different way. And so many people are, to me, afraid to see it in a different way. And afraid to start over, to rewrite it, to say to hell with all this because it's not working. Because if we want to be honest with ourselves, it's not working. If we sit with ourselves and meditate on how we truly feel within ourselves, a lot of times what we're doing is not working, but the fear of the unknown can just get people so caught up. But I'm not afraid of it, like, look at you. It's nothing to be afraid of, because anything you do, you will be able to handle it. But it's hard sometimes if you're not working from that vantage, I guess. um, I don't know. It's really empowered me though to sit with myself and be more honest about the reasons why I am here, and um, what I want in the end. I guess not the end because no one knows the end, but like when I sit down and reflect what type of like life I've lived, I know I'm looking for a certain type of thing that I don't know is directly achievable here.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. One of my friends, Malike's husband, was on a chat recently with I think with Blacksit and Baba Obadale, and he was like, I felt like a whale in a fishbowl in America, and I was like, there it is, right there. You know what I'm
It is.
saying? Like,
It is
you
like
know,
that.
and some people are, they're not lesser or worth less, but they their vision can be encompassed in less of a space. You understand? And maybe that is what makes them feel comfortable, or that's just what it is for them. um, I don't have anything to say about that. I'm not one of those people that be like, oh, I left the plantation and y'all coons over there still. I'm not even getting it. I don't care. I don't even,
Yeah.
I don't feel like that about it. You be where
Yeah.
you at, and if your vision extends you beyond these nation state borders, then so be it. Make your move, and I just want to be a resource, for the people whose vision extends beyond these borders and who want to make that move. And so obviously I had to do it myself. And it haven't been, hey, sister Viola. This is my daughter. I talk about her all the time. But so yeah, I mean, I guess this is a major thing. People come at us from all different directions. I've had men be like, why you marry them brothers from the continent? I've had people like, even my mom was like, why y'all got to move to Africa? Why y'all can't just move to Texas? I'm like, no, mom, Texas is not going to do it for me. Okay. My mom was hilarious, was hilarious, man. What else I heard? You running away. Like that's the big thing, and my brother is still kind of looking at me sideways about this whole situation. I keep telling him, you the man who's supposed to be over here, but he don't believe me, but he's starting to get signs and symbols from other directions. So maybe he'll value those, a little bit more. But I got
I
all
feel
people, and that's like a whole thing that people contact me about. My family, they keep saying this, my siblings said, don't leave me. And I really wanted to talk about that. Yeah, a lot of our families did say they took it too far. It's getting better, because there were repatriates before me whose family haven't been over here in 30 years or 40 that they've been here. And that's very sad. I had an older sister who's about 70. She's about my dad's age. She was like, I sacrificed my family to build in Africa. Her whole family. And man, that floored me. By the grace, I'm able to bring some people with me from my family, so I don't feel like I'm sacrificing the whole thing. And then those that are there still left, a lot of them still support what we're doing over here. So I feel that there has been growth, but we need more growth. And it's not going to be easy to make that move. You're going to have to leave some people behind. Some of those people need to be left behind because they want you to stay down in the dirt, and they don't want you to grow up out of it. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to reach towards the sun because they don't want to come up out of their shell and grow. That's not right. At the end of the day, even if you decide to be in your shell and hidden away or abused and misused in the United States, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's still better for me to be myself, do my thing, and do my part, because one day y'all gonna need it. And that day may come sooner than what you guys think. So the work that we're doing over here, it has to be done. It has to be done. Don't let people hold you down just because they scared to get up. So
I think a lot of people are just dealing with like fear,
yeah,
and I seen a quote the other day. It was like, fuck fear, do it scared.
yeah,
And that's really a place I feel like I've been able to come to, and what is my vantage with this whole process of just being like, why are we clinging to like it's more questions to be asked, in my opinion, than just, oh, okay, and these questions can only be asked by yourself, and the only way you're going to be able to ask yourself these questions, in my opinion, is if you ask yourself them questions. And my way of asking myself these questions is, like we said before, is the psilocybin. I I feel like everyone needs to have that type of experience, with the intention of healing, of course, because intention is everything. But that allowed not only me, but people around me to open their minds and really understand, not necessarily be a victim of circumstance all the time, or be a victim or of a reactionary response, you know? It's getting to the point where we have to be more aware of ourselves and more accountable of ourselves in order to take that next step forward, because that was just my whole thing, being surrounded by a lot of my people going to college and doing the college thing and just seeing my peers being like, dang, you still seem so unhappy, you know, and we're still escaping in the same toxic way. So just why are we in this loop? Like, and why are we accepting this as the loop? And so many questions I had. And I mean, I'm thankful because my mom has paved this way. So of course my answers aren't that hard to get, but for some people, I can understand why it could be hard. And oh, hello,
Yes,
Mark.
do not disturb, okay? But yeah, I really, oh, it was a question here. Yeah, Mom Dar, regard me, do I mean that men saying why you marry an African or continental born African? Yes, yes. And I mean not just one or two. Like this is a thing. It's it's jealousy, it's feelings of inadequacy on the parts of brothers from America. I've never felt that brothers in America were inadequate in compared to any other Africans. And would you tell them, daughter, I do not discriminate. I love all black men, not some, not half, but all of them. Okay, they could be from anywhere in this world. I don't look at it as a huge difference. And in my experience, as far as just being married into the Ghanaian families that I've had occasion to deal with, is not as many differences between us as we like to think. Okay. There are some, and they deserve our consideration, but please don't get it twisted. Men are men. As
Oh, she
Mary
was
Tom
saying
told
to that. She was saying, never mind.
what? Yeah, she was saying, yeah, they man, some haters, man. You know what I'm saying? And I still get the occasional message from a hater. It is more than occasional, let me just say that, but it's not like overwhelming. That's kind of why we're doing this video, to address this family issue. This is a family issue. We talking about, you know, what, like, what I thought about, what if we was on a plantation, right? And we had a skill that made money for your master, and he let you keep some of the money, and little by little you working on the plantation helped you free your relatives who didn't have a skill, you know what I'm saying, who didn't have a skill of value. So you stand on a plantation working your method. You know what I'm saying? Your method is, okay, I'm gonna get my mom out of here. I'm gonna get my dad out of here. I'm gonna get my sisters and brothers out of here. You know what I'm saying? Then I might get one or two other people out of here. And then I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's, we have to be strategic. You know what I'm saying? And I don't look at it as, you over here, you ran away, you over here, you a loser. I don't know what the dynamics of that dichotomy situation is exactly, because I'm not a psychologist, but I know it's something going on there, and it really has nothing to do with me. Okay, so
It's
that's
a
how I took.
projection.
Yeah, I did stop being friends with one person about it. Um, but everybody else I just ignored. Um, but it is a little offensive for somebody to say something like that. It's like I'm marrying a Swedish dude or something. And I'm not saying nothing against my people who marry Swedish guys, okay? What I'm saying is that's not for me. And that's not what I have represented in all my life. And that, I would never equate marrying a brother from Ghana, to marrying somebody from Western Eurasia. That's wrong. And that is some confused individuals who would even think like that. So they could either get straight or they could get gone. And that's how I've taken that. But I am more concerned about people that do have a vision for coming to Africa who feel held back by their families and friends who don't want them to. So I wanted to come on the record and let it be said that you're not the only one with a family. So, as my mom would say, shit or get off the pot, because it has to be done and you have to figure out a way. Be it, this is 2020. You could fly back and forth. No, we don't. We know people who do that. 6 months here, 6 months there. 9 months here, 3 months there. You know what I'm saying? We know people who do this. So it's no excuses, and
But
that and
I feel
that
like also you have to ask yourself at some point, how long are you willing to self-sacrifice for someone else's, not even happiness, you know what I mean? Because sometimes people just want you around, but it ain't like they really doing anything with you or, developing with you. It's just like kind of like this, we're just sitting there together. So sometimes it's like you gotta let people sit with the feelings of being like, dang, this person left. Why did they leave? Sometimes that triggers something in their brain to feel like, why am I
I
not
hope
leaving?
so.
Why am I feeling stagnant? And there's also another place where they can internalize it and project that, but the 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 foundation of everything, in my opinion, is that like you're not the center of the universe, and you have to make sure you prioritize yourself first and foremost, right? So if you're at that point where you're thinking outside the box already, you can't wait for everybody else to think outside the box, because if you do that, that's another conversation you have to have for yourself, because why do you need to wait for everyone to be there in order for you to be where you know you need to be for yourself? You know what I mean? It's just levels. Like life is an individual journey, and it's no hard feelings. It's all love all the time. Even when people think it's not, you know in yourself that it's always all love, because that's how you move and that's where you're pivoting from. So
That's that
I
hippie
mean,
shit. Fuck that shit, Peanut.
more access about our relationship. Again, our relationship I don't think has changed. Like I still talk to my mom all the
Well, I feel that
time.
I feel like I don't have my eye on Peanuts, okay? And that if I had my eye on her, then I would be a little, more involved in some of her daily activities. You feel me? But as I'm not there, my eye is too far away. Although I still see her, I can't reach her. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta get my communication game. They had to come up now, Peanut. You know what I'm saying? At a certain time in the evening, it's called for sleep. You know what I'm saying? And everything that glitters ain't gold, and everything that your friends doing. Pretty much 99% of that shit, you need to say no, literally. You know what I'm saying? So we
Yeah.
have having those conversations, but I'm not there. If I was there, I'd be chasing the ass down like, what y'all was doing? You know what I'm saying? With my flashlight and shit. But
I mean, I'm still 21, so
yeah, you think I'm gonna
it's
use
still
a flashlight?
it's
Uh
still real experimental
no,
out here.
no, you ain't about no. I ain't all that American bullshit they be telling you. Sow your wild oats. You ain't got no wild damn oats. Get your ass out of here. Uh, but yeah, she good, but the question, Mama Dara, is, am I good? Okay, shit. As I just wake straight up like, okay, I see these two ain't doing nothing. It must be Noe. What is going on over there? So, she's still my peanut. And let me just say this: my grandmother told me that she was married with 6 children, and one day, and I love my grandma. Okay, so nobody can say nothing bad about her. But she used to snap her husband up real good. And one day, her mom was there when she did it, and her mom smacked the taste out of her mouth on the spot and was like, basically, please don't let me hear you talking to your man like that. I ain't about to do it with you. 38 years old. My grandmother told me that story to let me know that you're never too old. I was like, I was like, wait, girl, wait, what? I mean, so yeah, I'm coming with the flashlight if I need to. I just want everybody to be on notice that, I will pop out the woodwork on y'all ass and regulate shit if I need to. Please. As my dad is always saying, don't make me have to come over there to Ghana, if something happens with the boys. I'm like, you know, so yeah, the spidey sense be popping. I can't lie to you. It's like, don't think because I'm not there that I'm not paying attention or that it's just a free fall. Shit, that'll be the wrong thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
I think overall for me, like, it's giving me the time to reflect in a way I think is necessary, because I just think as humans we're all going through this emotional turmoil, and that we can sometimes think the people around us are responsible for that emotional turmoil. And so, and sometimes the closer the relationships are, the more responsible you think that person is for your emotional turmoil. When, like I said earlier, the space is necessary because you have to draw those lines and boundaries of like, I have some things I need to work on in myself on this journey of life. And that those things may come up, while I'm interacting with people, but like it's not their fault. And I feel like that part where I was like, it's not their fault, it was a lot of things I felt like, just living in America and living through circumstance, I just was faulting so much, not only on my mom, but my parents, and just had a very complicated relationship with family because I was so distressed. Like, I feel like they were stressing me out, but they weren't. I was stressing myself out. I mean, everyone has things they need to work on, but I think the ways I was taking it, especially at my younger years, was due to a lack of accountability and a lack of space, to be honest. But as we go, we realize and we get better at things. So
adjust.
yeah, we
Yeah.
adjust, we calibrate ourselves. So once I recognize that, like you really just need, I need space in general from all people first and foremost to fill out my feelings and just to have those moments where I'm able to sit with myself and reflect. And I didn't really have much of those, because when I wasn't with my family, I was escaping in my relationships with my friends and people outside of that, kind of distracting myself from the emotional turmoil I was experiencing. So, and then a lot of ways I thought like, well, we didn't have enough of this growing up, or I didn't have enough of this, and everybody, da, 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 nobody did this for me. It's like, hold up, like that moment wasn't able to happen until my mom left, because, and it was also the way I took it, because I knew, like I said, it was always love. So I could never sit back and be like, well, my mom left me here and blah, woo, woo. It was like, you already know your mom. She didn't leave you here. You could have went, but you didn't go. So why didn't you? And now you can sit with that one too. You gotta just learning to sit with it.
Man, that's a wild story. I mean, I have actually not used psilocybin or any type of psychedelics at all. But I already have a psychedelic mind. I'm like one of them natural people. But I'm looking forward to exploring more into that because for a long time I was like scared and discouraged from that part of myself, knowing that I had that that innate, thing going on. It was very discouraged when I was a young person. Literally, you know, I had people around me, and I'm not gonna say their names because I love them, okay? But they was like, "Why don't you know the? Can you get the lottery numbers for us? You know, like, can you use your powers to, you know what I'm saying, do some wild shit?" And I was just like, "Wow, this is crazy." Or being accused of making bad things happen to people. Like, if that ever happened to you as a youth, that is something that will turn you away from like anything, you know, healing or hippie related, you know. And so that that happened to me, you know. So I'm coming full circle, and a lot of that is because of Noe. Because it, I don't, she probably doesn't even remember, but she may have been about 4 years old, maybe 5, maybe 6. I'll give you 6 at the most. One day something happened to me, and she came towards me with her hands together and said, "Okay, let me heal you." And I just looked at her like, "Okay, well, that's the terminology that you using is very intentional." You know what I'm saying? Um, and I've been kind of running away from this area of my life. I didn't want to deal with it at all. It was not going to be taken the correct way by the people that is in my family and that I'm around. So I didn't want to deal with it. In fact, I don't know if you remember, we ran into a seer one day at a Jamaican restaurant on 79th Street. And she started talking about your great grandmother. Do you remember that day? Yeah, I do. And I was like, "Come on, away." You know, I ran up away from that lady so fast. And Yvette, Noe's auntie, was like, "No, when that happens, don't run. You know, get their phone number." Cause she saw it all. She was like, "Your baby is in pain. She lost somebody. They were 86, or and then like your great grandmother had passed like a week before her birthday." You know what I'm saying? And so I'm sitting there like, we don't know this lady from nowhere. She was just like, "Your baby is grieving." You know what I'm saying? And I was like, and she looked at me and she said, "You grieving too?" And she talked about it and she went into it. So those two incidents, you telling me basically that I'm coming with the intent to heal you, let me know that you was a healer. So little did you know, from that moment, I opened myself up to training myself so that I could be a resource to you, so that you would be able to do and be what you called yourself, you know. And I purposely did not tell you that, you know what I'm saying? And I purposely, you know, so everything fell in line after that. From Yvette telling me, "Don't run from it." The next thing I know, Dr. Africa is coming to town. Mama Roberta was like, "We got a scholarship. Do you know anybody who will want it?" I said, "Yeah, me,
Mm-hmm.
me." You know what I'm saying? And it's just been an uphill, not uphill climb, but just a upward growth for me every since that moment, you know. And I was very much so inspired by you, you know. And this is your, you know, pre-contamination by American teenage thoughts, you know, when you knew who you were, where you came from, and what you came to do. So when you came to me about, you know, using, you know, not just psychedelics, but when we, you know, we do all kinds of stuff. You know, if it's a modality out there, therapeutic modality, we either trying it, learning about it, or we already did it. You know what I'm saying? Between me and you. So, you know what I'm saying? This girl, do you be doing hot yoga too, Peanut?
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, we try, yeah, see, you know what I'm saying? We run the gamut. And I definitely want to, you know, go on the record and say that, because a lot of people say, "Okay, well, don't talk about psychedelics, don't talk about this, don't talk about that." But we real people, we not like playing around. We can play around, you know what I'm saying? But we not playing around. You know what I'm saying? And these tools have been made available to us and it's up to us to tap into them and use them. So yeah, Mom Dad said she was curious about them. A lot of people are using them, and not just for treatment either, but to go further and deeper into certain crafts and certain. If you wonder why this AI software is able to get into our minds and control our behavior the way that it's been able to do, part of that is because some people is tapping into the whole universe and we're not.
And I think a
So
large
we're
part of that
at disadvantage.
it has been like purposely disconnecting us from those indigenous
Yeah,
roots where around a certain time you're gonna go through a coming of age ceremony. You know what I mean? There needs to be a point in your life where you are pulled up out of the way you perceive the way you perceive reality, and you're faced with different perspectives, right? And we can't do it alone as humans. We have to expand into that. We aren't just not like we don't just roll into it. We're growers. And so I think it's just been, I don't know, it's always been my own personal thing. It's always been like, question everything you've been told, right? So why have I been told that I'm not supposed to use these substances that are able to help me tap into deeper levels of myself? Why is that not promoted? Because we don't live in a society where wholeness, happiness, health is promoted. We live in a society that benefits off of us being in that deficit state, deficit within ourselves. When we don't feel our power within, when we allow our power to be from everything else but ourselves. And I mean, that's just my personal take. I think the only way to really navigate that is by navigating it and to jump into the unknown, because that's essentially what it's calling you to do. Um, yeah, I'm getting into that research right now. I major in food science at Tuskegee, and because of the shrooms, I've been now looking to go into like grad school to explore a little bit more of it as far as a research standpoint. But that's definitely my realm. I'm here for it. I love it. I also, with everything, precaution. Um, because I think as humans we have to recognize that point in ourselves where we're just escaping. And there's no escaping reality. We're here. We're all up in it. So if you don't like it, it's a reflection of you.
right. And we don't realize that, and I've been saying this for a long time. A lot of the stuff that we do is like super passive aggressive.
Yes.
Instead of reshaping society to fit our neurological, biological, physiological, spiritual, and holistic needs, we want to, make little, fringe changes. Okay, well, don't eat any protein that comes from animals. And it's like, okay, but the plants also know that they're making a sacrifice too. You do know that, right? They grow. When I look out here where I'm at right now, most of the plants that's growing out here that just popped up are good treatments for malaria. You know that? Do you think the plant decided to come here because it knew it could be of use here in this area for that particular thing? We don't know more than the plants, and we don't know more than the animals. I've watched the animals as they sacrifice the animals here. The animal at first is like agitated. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm about to cross over. You know what I'm saying? They got me. You know what I'm saying? But the animal still has claws and it has horns. Okay? The animal decides, okay, I'm about to transform. I'm going to give what I am now because these people need me for a purpose. And then I'll just come back in another way, in another shape, or transform to something else. Okay. It decides, because at any given time, you ever been around a rooster or a goat? Goats are very stubborn. They're not like, you know, oh, you could just kill me. I'm gonna lay down and no, they if they chose to fight you, they can make it very difficult. They can hurt you or they can even kill you in the process, but they don't, just like these plants don't. The plants came here. The plants around where you are, Noe, is clover, plantain, dandelion, sunflowers. Their plants are there because they know if you're in that environment, you need them. You need them. That's why they're there. And we are also here because we are also needed. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Yes.
listen, you don't change, your politics or your diet or your love relationships or whatever to fit, the current paradigm. You change the paradigm to fit what it is that you need to do your part and do your thing. And I say that the same thing for all the stuff for the LGB, L, come on, you feel me?
LGBTQ.
Yes. It runs the gamut. It gets to the passive aggressive stage. Face it. Face it and do you. Face it and do you. So we have to face the food chain, face the fact that we don't have food sovereignty, and actually work on behalf of developing that. We cannot just sit here and say, okay, well, nobody eat corn and nobody eat wheat. No, it's called, we're not eating anything that's been sprayed. If you sprayed it, you just lost your money. You just wasted your time because we're not eating that shit. Either make it the way that it's good for us or we're not eating it. We'll grow our own shit. So, I mean, I could go from subject to subject and see where we do these little passive aggressive tactics or whatever. And I'm like, no, that's like, let's really look at this shit. Let's get into some fundamental shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot with that. Because even
Oh.
recently, somebody came into the repatriation group and was like, I'm gay, but that don't mean I want the white man foot on my neck all the time. I want to come to Africa too. And I was like, you could come to Africa? Who
Well,
told you you could?
we all know I'm pretty publicly queer, so it's, that's no
Everybody in America
problem.
is here. So, but yeah, no, but yeah, that's what I was telling him. I'm like, it's not like that over here. That's what you heard. Like, who told? The first thing you have to ask yourself is, who told you that? You know what I'm saying? And then the second thing you have to do is go into the history, and look at who is responsible for the thoughts that we all have right now.
Yeah, but I
And
don't know.
and
I think it's also a point where we are dealing in a world where we have internalized these things. So we may not be the origin, but are now people willing to do the work to deconstruct those mentalities. Because what I've been saying with the shrooms is everyone has, we think, oh, the white man, but are you confronting your little white man in you today? Because
right,
he's in there. You know what I mean? It's not something that we're
right,
absolved of. Because
right,
essentially he's the white man, or the system is just an archetype for a bunch of mental processes, a bunch of projections, and a bunch of ego, right? So if we sit back and we we recognize that, hey, a lot of our black men do have a lot of internalized homophobia. A lot of our black men, a lot of our black women are dealing with a lot of internalized misogyny, right? A lot of people are dealing and coping with reality in ways they have been taught, and we have not been taught everything, you know? So I think, I mean, with anything, I always say being yourself is the best route. The only way, in my opinion, to to show people, you can just show up and be who you are, and that's what I do. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? I'm not any less um queer. I don't feel like I need to be in any type of closet, or even now, I've decided to become and identify as non-binary, and do all these things that make me comfortable in myself. But I know a lot of people may not be there mentally to even grasp the the place I've been in to even recognize myself in that way. And that's okay, because I'm not necessarily looking for them to. I'm looking for them to respect me. You know, I don't need you to be
To know
waving the
all the
flag.
acronyms,
You know what I mean?
to
Like,
know
because
all the acronyms.
because
Because
people, I can't expect people to recognize my freedom and be able to like, oh, this is for me. Like, a lot of people can't see me because they can't see themselves. A lot of people are dealing with their own problems and fragmentations and all this types of stuff, where to the point where it clogs up their processing system. And that's one thing that's true. When I've done the research on the psilocybin, it a lot of times your first couple of trips is about clearing that processing system out, clearing the junk, clearing the trauma that's weighing us down. You know what I mean? That's not why we were put here. And so yeah, I don't know. That's why when I say to people, I don't have to wait for everybody to get to the point where they can accept. I don't have to wait for everybody to get to the point where they're not ready to accept me, because I'm not waiting for that. I'm here to be myself and to live on my terms. So
that's one thing that I noticed that I really just I don't know. I'm biased. I've come to love Ghana. I probably would love any part that I ended up in of Africa. But I mean, I just see so many variations of genetics and gender roles and just all this stuff that we have been told that is not
exactly.
it. So that's why I told the brother, who have you been listening to? Because come see for yourself. Yes, there's gonna be some parameters, but we all have those. I have parameters here, as a mom. If I, like for example, I was out one night in the evening, just like right now, sitting at a pub, drinking club, my favorite beer, you feel me? And I wasn't thinking nothing of it. I was on my phone doing this or that. And one guy, two guys, three guys kept approaching me kind of like, in a real saucy kind of way, and that's not something that I'm used to. Then, Kofi was just looking at me like, I told you, that's not a woman, a grown woman being out alone in a pub, in a hood, in the evening is taken to mean something. You know what I'm saying? And what it means is that you out there for work, night work.
But then it's
As my.
also like you're not.
But well, let me finish. You being seen as, it's like once the time goes into 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, you're out there for this purpose. That is the way that it is seen here. So for me to be out there at that point, I felt like, oh my God, I actually feel uncomfortable. Let me go ahead and go home. So now I know that if I'm going to be out in the evening, I have to be accompanied, because that's the culture and that's the environment that I'm in. And it has created parameters in terms of my behavior that I'm not used to, because I'm from Chicago and I go anywhere at any given time by myself if I so chose, and not think nothing of it, but it's different here. So the main thing you have to do is come and see how it is, for you. And what you will see is that um variety is something that is not even noteworthy here. It's just people do themselves and nobody gives a fuck. We don't even talk about it. You know what I'm saying? It's not even a conversation. So
But I mean, I
I,
also feel like it shouldn't be absolved of like growth. Like everything has room to grow, and like I said earlier, people everywhere are dealing with these internalized isms. So no matter where you go, there's going to be some level of altered behavior. And it's just about how much of that you're willing to allow for your own safety.
right.
Um, but yeah, I think anywhere
Yeah,
it, it exists
if
everywhere.
you
So
feel like you don't want to be in America, then yeah, period. This is home. I don't agree with people saying, it was a sister in the Gambia who is like extremely hilarious. Can I be positive and say that? And she has a lot of, wild reports coming out of the Gambia, and a lot of people find her sharing offensive, and I get that. And even myself have cringed through one or two of her videos, you know what I'm saying? Um, and my thing is this though, I'm not for them, they doing like petitions, we gonna kick her out the country and all this stuff. And I'm like, nah, you can't do that because this is home. You know what I'm saying? You can't, I'm not with a group of people that be like, if you gonna act like this, don't come to Africa. And I'm like, you can't say that. You could say it, but you can't control it like that. Whoever feel that as part of their vision, they should be welcome here. If they need a correction or if they need a parameter placed around them that would help them, go more better or less better with the group that's over here, then let that process play itself out, just like it's have happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Let that process play itself out because that's why we came here. And we have full access and full right to be here. So ain't no, oh, well, like, you boys don't wear their hair braided here. Nah, you can't say that. You could say that, but it don't mean I can't do it. Let me decide within myself, well, I'm a businessman, you know, I'm using Kweku as an example. I'm a businessman. I'm in high school. I want people to take me serious and spend money with me. So you know what? I'm not gonna braid my hair. I'm gonna cut it. So I could, you know what I'm saying? So I could get to to the to the goal that I'm trying to get to, and the way that's supposed to look for people to understand me and what I'm trying to do. That's a legit, you know what I'm saying, decision made on his part. He also could have bucked, you know what I'm saying, bucked the whole thing and be like, nah, I'm gonna still do it and I'm gonna wear my hair like this, blonde, tips and braid and locks just on the top. That's what he was saying.
yeah, I'm not. I'm that type of person. I'm gonna do it, but
But
I'm gonna do it the way I want to do
it's
it.
up to you. That's my point. You know what I'm saying? And then you have to decide, am I getting out of this what I wanted to get out of it? Can I make any adjustments? That's a personal decision. It's not something being forced on you though. You know what I'm saying? Because like when they first came, even their hair, it being with this haircut, it's not normal. You know what I'm saying? They already went against the grain, you know what I'm saying, with that. And that's not easy, but they decided, hey, I'm gonna rock my high top. You know what I'm saying? Regardless. I don't care what they say about me. You know what I'm saying? And it's levels, the cannabis and the hemp thing, the psilocybin, all of that is like, okay, they said this. If I do this, then I'm gonna look this kind of way, and people not gonna take me serious. Okay, you could take that road, but like my dad tell me, pick your battles. You know what I'm saying? And if you feel like this is something that's absolutely necessary for you, then dig your heels in, make your plan and fight that battle. Face it. That's the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Face it. That's the bottom line. However you have to do it. By yourself, with therapy, psilocybin, hot yoga, I don't care. However you have to do it. Yes, you make your decision what what it is that you have to give and be, and you face any challenges to that. And that's on a micro level and a macro level. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh,
um,
earlier Mama Dara said, "What's the caution?" I think that's when I was talking about the
psilocybin.
psilocybin. Psilocybin.
So,
Um, the caution is essentially more so intention. I think everything is about intention. So the reasons why you're doing things is really important because I recently, because I've gotten into this, I've started to interact with more people. And some people do it as a party drug or something that could, I don't ever feel, I'm so numb because, you know, this 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 society I'm living in, the lifestyle I'm living is numbing me to the point where I can only really feel when I'm taking substances. At that point, that's why I say proceed with caution because you're gonna feel things, you know what I mean? And it's really the attachment you create to that feeling that can be problematic, right? Um, and that's with everything. And I think that's also a part of the individual journey about recognizing it and sitting with yourself about your intentions with your attachments, and why they manifest the way they do. Everything is always a conversation for self. So that's where the caution comes from. I don't think, I mean, it's not anything lethal or toxic. It's more so just mentality. Um, and that your mentality doesn't have to be perfect going into it because it will get you right. It will get you right, if even if you didn't have the right mentality.
yeah, because I think uh 2, 3, 7, or 10 Kalindi lectures or whatever. And he made it seem like he didn't really take issue with people using it, you know, as a party thing, even though that's not what his, you know, his particular approach was.
Oh,
You
I
know,
don't think it's a problem with taking it as a uh, like that's for me. That's like a microdosing range. Anything under 3 grams for me is microdosing. You do that just casually, just to be more present, you know. But to me, the intention is always important on my end for the spiritual aspect. You can do anything because you will always sit with your own decisions. Um, so it's really up for whatever you'll
yeah, I
handle.
mean, the same thing about, I was told the same thing
About what?
that, about weed, about marijuana, that
Yeah.
it wasn't for me. You know, that's what my friend was telling me. It's not for you to play with. It's for you to use for
Mhm.
purposes that you intentionally set. So I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
uh, and he was like, and you should use it purposely and with intent. You know what I'm saying?
That's what everything. Do everything with
Not,
intention.
you know, whatever, however, you know. And I was just like, oh man, you know, but ah, not Buddha yet, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's not a destination. It's not a destination. It's a journey. You can't once you get caught up and be like, "Oh, I got there now." That's just you. You're not there anymore. um.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
feel
I definitely agree. I don't think I just really promote. I guess right now I would say just everyone being really just taking accountability and sitting with like and trying to meet reality on reality's terms, and you know, find ways they can be more expansive within themselves. My way is obviously my ways, um, which I will be having more content on, and I will be publishing more information about
okay, wait, what's the name of your channel?
my name. Noelani
So
Pierce.
super cool. Okay, Peanut Channel. Okay, that's what you should have called it. Okay, so Noelani Pierce on YouTube. More content. We looking for that. Looking for the repatriation files, which is notes on our experience, that we did, and pictures. You know, we got a lot of pictures too that I think are great. Noe and Kweku and Papayao Quiet is kept, all competent photographers. Um, so I want to definitely highlight that aspect in our ebooks, and mine as well. I don't publish other people's pictures, only the ones that I take. So look for Beckoned. That's the beginner's guide to repatriation. You know what I'm saying? Look for the repat files, which is our private, um, you know, notes that we have, heavily redacted. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be so many black marks in there. You ain't even gonna be able to make out the sentences like the feds. No, I'm just joking. It's gonna be so. It's real talk. You know, just like what we doing today. You know
Thank
what
you,
I
Mama
experienced.
Dara.
Thank you for joining us. So yeah, look out. My channel is the New African channel, and I'll be on there, just sharing information or whatever. I'm trying to get Kofi on to go through this house building process, because I want to share that process with everybody. I already clued y'all in. Day one was the day of my mother's funeral, you know. So just imagine the seed, that was planted literally on that day, and to see what have been growing. It's So yeah, we want to come on and talk about that on the New African channel. Um, Wells, we all over the place: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Noelani Pierce. I don't know what she got. A lot of weird names on there. Good,
Good vibe.
Queer Good
Huh?
Vibes, Queer Jesus, or something. I don't know.
That's
Stop doing that troll shit, okay, dude? You know what I'm saying? But my shit is either New African Image Makers or Cicely McClendon, okay? Until I change my last name, fully changed. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it this time, Peanut. So yeah, look for us. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to our channels. You know what I'm saying? Send us comments, questions, feedback. Uh, encourage my Peanut, encourage Noe, encourage me, encourage yourself along this journey. And anything else you want to say to close out?
no. Um,
Mine is just I'm
Stay
just
tuned
certainly
for
like,
more
yeah,
updates on.
but we stay busy. We even when we taking a break, it's like we just literally be in the lab. You know what I'm saying? Thinking, writing, looking at stuff, and just meditating and just working. So she ain't no different from me in that regard. So um, uh, thank you guys for joining us, and we out. Yes.